Okay, we're going to try this one more time. Sorry about that. I keep getting this message that I'm not sure if it's being shared, but we're just going to go for it. Anyway, this is Senator Kevin Cook live with Breakfast with the Cooks. However, we're a day late. This was supposed to be done on Saturday at 10 a.m., but just didn't make it. When I ran for this position, Senator Mortimer said, Kevin, you'll be busier than you've ever been in your life when you're back in session. And I really didn't believe him because I thought, you know what, I've done some pretty busy things in my life, but we're trying it. We're going to see what happens. But anyway, it's been crazy busy. It really has. But I've enjoyed it. I'm serving on the JFAC committee. JFAC takes care of all the budgets and everything that goes on there, and so it is incredible the amount of money that the state of Idaho goes. But it's been exciting to learn that and to be able to have a piece in a part of that. It's like a foreign language and to learn, and it's exciting. But anyway, it feels like when you're in college and every day you're planning and working towards a final every day, and that's what it feels like when you're in session. But it's been really busy, but it's been exciting. So let me kind of give you a rundown of what's happening that happened this first week of the legislature. So the first week is done. Monday we'll start the second week. But in that first week of the legislature, Monday morning, if you didn't tune in, Monday morning, Governor Brad Little, gave his State of the State address. In that address, he announced his budget. It included a $295 million one-time relief, along with $160 million in ongoing tax reductions. Well, I was excited about that. A tax reduction. I want to keep my own money. I don't think there's anybody that knows how to spend my money, hard-earned money, better than I do. And so I was excited about that. My son-in-law asked me, says, well, what does that mean? What kind of tax cut am I going to get? And I says, well, we don't know that yet. The governor just made a proposal for his budget, this tax cut. Now it's up to the legislator to come up and decide how we give that tax cut and how does it move forward, or even if the budget's going to work. Okay, so that's the legislative job. And then we'll work at it, get it passed, and then move it up to the governor and have him pass it as well, we hope. Anyway, in that, the governor's budget also included $126 million in state and local highway projects, another $80 million in other transportation funding. And so I am hoping that we get some of that money down to southeastern Idaho. You know, if you ever drive through Ada County, through Boise, the highway system here is incredible. You never get stopped, backed up in traffic. Well, that's because all the money keeps getting spent here. We need to get that money spent in southeast Idaho. We need to have that I-15 Highway 20 interchange fixed and working. And so a good chunk of change there. We just got to make sure that we get our share of it down our way. As you know, I'm passionate about education. And so when the governor said that he was going to increase the K through 12 budget by 3.7%, I was pretty excited about that. I want to see that money used to help our K through third graders, K through 3, learn to read. My dream is that every third grader is reading at least a third grader level when they leave. And then we keep that reading going. We have to do that. That is a wise investment. If we can invest in education early, it will pay dividends down the road. Otherwise, we'll be paying out a higher cost in adult correctional or juvenile correctional services and in welfare. And so let's get a good education, and reading is pertinent to that happening. So I'm excited to see that. I've spoken with several people this week about education, about reading, anywhere from the senators and representatives that have worked on the education committee, but also the superintendent, the president of the education board, and members of the Department of Education. And so I'm learning the ropes and what we can do to improve our reading in our schools. There are several bills that are working its way through the committees dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic. These bills are in an effort to, one, to end the governor's emergency declaration, two, to balance the power between the three branches of the government, and three, to allow the legislature to call themselves back into session if need be. Okay? So, this week I've learned a lot. I thought, hey, okay, why not just end the declaration? What's the big deal? Get rid of it. Let's do it. But then there's several that says, now, wait a minute. What does that mean? What does it mean to end the declaration? That we need to look at it a little bit deeper. For instance, if we end the governor's declaration, what does that do to the public health district and their powers to shut down businesses? What does it do to mayors and their ability to say, I'm going to mandate a mask, that you have to wear a mask? What does it do to school boards and school superintendents, to county commissioners? And so all of that, by just declaring that the governor's declaration of emergency is over, what does it do with everybody else? Okay, another one is we've got millions and millions of dollars that have come into the state from FEMA, from federal government, to pay for this COVID pandemic emergency. Okay, when we end this declaration, what will that do to money we've already received and spent or haven't spent? Or what does it do to money that is still to come in, that we're in the process of spending? What does that do? And if you say, I don't care, I just want to end the declaration, well, wouldn't it be good to know how much money that's going to cost us? Is it $100,000? Is it $1 million? Is it $100 million? Or is it $1 billion? What are we going to be left with that we have to pay for when we declare this emergency is over? And so there's an effort to make sure we completely understand what this will do when we put this bill forward. Okay. The House leadership, the Senate leadership are now working together to make sure they get this bill right. It's interesting, I thought it's just a bill, let's just do it. But you got to think about it. This bill has to not only stand today, but it needs to stand 30 years from now. And when I mean stand, it needs to be held up in court. When the lawyers are fighting over it, it needs to be bulletproof. Okay? And so there's some work to go into these bills to make sure that things are happening the right way. If there's one thing that I've learned throughout life is that when I want to get something done faster or get a knee-jerk reaction, it usually comes back to haunt me. And so it's important that we think things through and make sure that we make wise decisions and get it done right. So, new subject, the House and the Senate, the legislative part, is getting sued. And so it's getting sued by a couple of representatives from the House, stating that the House is not giving them proper protection against the COVID-19 virus. And so not sure where that's going to go right now. One of them put up a resolution to say, I want to be able to vote from a remote site. And the House voted against that they have to be present. They got to be on the floor in order to vote. And so there's some feelings there. Not sure what's going to happen there. Let's see, the rest of this week, as far as JFAC is concerned, we continue to hold budget hearings for every state agency. And they come and present their budget. and how much they want for this upcoming fiscal year of 2022. And so the amount of money that this budget, the state of Idaho, just boggles my mind. And so I feel a real urgency to understand where this money is going, and because it's your money, it's my money. Where is this going? It's the widow's mite. I want to understand the budget and make sure we're doing wise and taking care of things the right way. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at. But I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear what you're thinking. What are your concerns? What do we need to legislate or not legislate? I don't want to put up a bill just to say I put up a bill. In fact, I would really love to say every time you put up a bill, you got to get rid of 2 or 3 bills. Wouldn't that be a wonderful thing to minimize our government's footprint? But anyway, it's been a great week. It's been a good learning week. So let me know where we stand. I would love to hear from you. Join me, and together we'll put Idaho first. Thank you.